Okay guys, so this one is the fingerprint bug one. And so this is where we're gonna start. We're gonna start by drawing the actual jar, okay, that we're gonna collect all of our insects in, right? And you can use any size paper you want. I used really big size paper for this one, but for the example I'm gonna do with you guys today, we're going to use just regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, okay? So you're gonna need something to draw with. I'm gonna use my black Sharpie. You guys can use whatever you want. Pencils work, crayons, markers, you name it, you got it, you use it, okay? Now the first thing we need to do is we need to draw the actual jar, okay? So the lid really is our first thing. So what I want you guys to do is go to the top of the page because we need most of the room for our jar, okay? So we are going to draw an oval that looks like this on the top of our paper, okay? Now really an oval is a really squashed down circle, okay? We're just squeezing it down. You can do little parentheses on the side and then connect them. You can draw the whole thing like I just did. Any way you like to draw your lid would be totally fine. Works for me. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna draw the sides, okay, of the jar. We're gonna make a slit there and a little slit there. Okay, like two little hands coming around the corner and then another one on the other side, okay? And then we're just gonna connect those, okay? So we're gonna connect the bottom one like that, and then we're gonna connect that top one just like that, okay? Don't worry about it if it's not perfect. Not the end of the world, right? So now we're gonna do the actual jar, and on the actual jar, it comes down and out, okay? If you guys look at a jar, like a pickle jar or something, you'll see that it comes down and over like that, okay? And what we do on one side, we always need to do on the other side. So we're gonna go down and over as well, okay? So now all we need to do is we need to take our lines all the way down, okay, until we wanna stop. Just depends on how big you want your jar, okay? So I'm gonna take mine down. I'm making it a big fat jar, okay? And I'm gonna stop because I wanna leave myself some room down here for the bottom of the jar. Now the bottom of the jar is rounded, kind of like a smile, okay? Like a smiley face. So you're gonna connect one side to the other. So you're gonna go from this side to this side, okay? And you see that? Perfect. Now inside the jar, since the outside is glass and we can see through it, we're gonna put a little smile on the inside, right on the bottom, okay, just like that. And then we're gonna go up on the back side just a little like that. So it looks like it has something, a base to sit on, okay? Now that's really as much as this goes. We don't do much more. I might do a little shine on the side and a little shine coming down that side so it looks like that the sun is shining off the glass of the jar, okay? Other than that, I'm done with this section, okay? So I put my pencil or my marker or whatever I have away, and now I get to do the fun stuff, okay? Again, just like last week, I have this little plate of paint, okay? I have a bunch of different colors, and it doesn't matter if you don't have paint. If you have watercolors, that works too. If you just have markers, whatever you have is gonna work great. But if you do happen to have paint, you're gonna want some red, because ladybugs are red. You're gonna want yellow because bumblebees are yellow, green, I like green for my caterpillar, butterflies, just depends. Any colors you want will do. Those are the ones I have on my plate, okay? So here's how it's gonna work. This is the super fun part about the project, is that all you really need now are your thumbs and your fingers, okay? And it just depends on how big you want your insects to be, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do a ladybug, okay? And I usually use my thumb for my ladybug. So what I do is I just dip my finger or my thumb right into the paint, just like that, right? And then I decide, where do I want my ladybug in my jar? I'd like her walking along the bottom. So I just put a little ladybug right there. You can see I still got plenty of paint on my thumb. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put one walking upside the jar, okay? And then another one down here with this guy. So he's got a friend, okay? Now, I'm running out of paint on my finger, so at this point, I would stop, okay? And I'd use a napkin or a wipe or whatever you've got, okay? And just wipe your fingers clean so that you are ready to dip your nice clean finger into another color, okay? Now, if you want to use your fingers, you can do that too. I like to use my fingers with the caterpillar because there's lots of him, okay? There's lots of spots for the caterpillar. So what I do is I take my dot and I put my finger inside, and I like my caterpillar to be kind of climbing up against the wall of the jar, okay? And what I do with the caterpillar is I just do lots of tiny dots together, okay? That's his little body shape. And you'll notice I'm dipping back and forth into the paint quite a bit because I don't want him to run out. Now he's a long-bodied guy, right? So you can see I'm going up and over, and I'm gonna have him touch the jar twice, and then I'm gonna do a big head for him right there. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, kind of wonky like that. And I'm gonna leave that caterpillar right there, okay? So I'm done with that green. If you wanna use green again and you already have some on your fingers, go for it, right? Use what you have. If you're done with green, you're over it, get your fingers clean and start with another color. Yellow is probably one of my favorites. I'm gonna use my thumb again for yellow. I want a nice big fat bumblebee. Love, love, love those bumblebees, right? So I'm going to dab him right there. We're gonna get a couple, let's do 3. We'll do 3 flying bumblebees inside my jar. Now, how many you do is totally up to you, okay? It's up to you how many you want, how many bugs you want in there. It really doesn't matter. I like to do at least one of each thing. The next thing I would like to do is a butterfly. And the butterflies, I'm gonna do actually purple, and I'm gonna use my finger for this one. The butterflies are really fun. They are one up like that, and then I turn it 2 like that, and then I do the same thing on the bottom. 3, 4. So you can see it kind of looks like a little butterfly or a little flower, okay? And you can do that with any color you want, okay? You can have 2 different ones on the top, 2 different ones on the bottom. It's totally up to you. I also like to do something called a June bug. Some of you might know what that is. And I like to use blue, okay? Blue for my June bug. And I'm gonna have his body, I'm gonna have his body like this. I'm gonna have his body, his wings on either side like that. And then I'm gonna switch and do my middle finger, and I'm gonna use orange, okay? And I'm gonna do his head and his tail, just like that. So I have a little June bug, okay? Now I can do more butterflies. If you guys can think of another insect that you want to add, you can add that. I'm going to finish off with black. And what's black for? Black's going to be for my spiders. Okay, so I'm going to have a couple spiders hanging around in here with my bugs. Okay, just like that. So at this point, you can look around and say, do I have some empty spots? Do I want to add another something or other? I'm gonna add one more spider down here. And then I can say, okay, I'm gonna set this to the side, okay? Here's my awesome jar. I've drawn my jar. I've used my paint brushes, my fingers today, to put my dots in. Now I can come in. I'm gonna show you what I've been doing on a different one. I'm gonna let this dry. So at this point, go ahead, let your picture dry for a minute. Let these thumbprints and these fingerprints all dry so that you can do the next part, okay? The next part is when we get to add the fun stuff, okay? And sometimes I add, let me see, where is it? I'm trying to find the marker I need. That's all right, we'll just use blue. All right, so now you can see some of these are, this whole paper is dry, I can touch it, and some of them have designs on them, and some of them don't, okay? Like my spider doesn't have design. I've got an empty bumblebee right here, and I'm gonna show you how we fill that in. So I'm gonna go back and take my marker again, okay? My Sharpie, you can use a black marker, you can use pencil, whatever you want. And if I had a yellow bumblebee, right, what I like to do is I like to trace around my yellow, just like that. And then bumblebees have those really cool stripes on their back, right? Make sure you know that they're a bumblebee, and they're bright and awesome looking. And then they've got like a little stinger on the back, right? So I add my little stinger, and they're buzzing around with these teeny wings like that. And then since I like all my bugs to be chill and nice, I'm gonna put a smiley face and some eyes on it, okay? And I'd call that one done. There's a little bumblebee that I really like. Down here, I got some ladybugs that need to be finished. So my ladybugs, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to cut it in half. Not really, that sounded bad, but I'm gonna cut the ladybug in half, and this half, I'm going to color all the way in black. I'm gonna cover up that red paint, okay? Because as we all know, our ladybugs are part red in spots and part black. And then the back of her, I'm gonna divide down the middle, and then I'm gonna put little dots, okay, down the red. And see, this fingerprint didn't get too much paint on it, and that's okay. And you can outline it if you want, or you can leave it open. See, I've left this one open, that one I outlined, okay? Then I always like to put little eyeballs on mine and some feet, okay? So they're moving around. Same thing with my caterpillar. You can see I have a caterpillar right here that's open. He's all dry. I can put little teeny legs on both sides of my caterpillar, or if you just want him on one side, like this guy over here, he's just got him on one side because he's crawling up that way. You can do that. Don't forget his antennas and his little face too. You'll see up here I did some June bugs. I just added little A shapes to the sides of the wings, okay, so that it looks more like wings instead of rounded. And then I added some eyes and some antennas. On my butterfly here, I added a little body. You can see that, okay. And then my spiders, I love my spiders. They're so fun. I always have them hanging from the top of the jar, so I do a little string hanging down to my spider. And then we all know how many legs does a spider have. He's got 8, right? So 4 on each side. So then I just add some legs. And if you have white paint, I don't have yellow. I guess I could do a little dab of yellow. And there's some beady little eyes. If you had white paint, you could put him so he has eyes and a smile if you want to, okay? So that's the second step. So first step was this guy, right? We drew our jar, we painted it with our fingers, then we let it dry, and we took our Sharpie and our pens, and we added all these cool details to our fingerprint paint swatches, okay? And now the finishing touch is, you guessed it, we color the back, okay? So you wanna decide where you're sitting, right? Where is your jar gonna be sitting? Is your jar sitting on the table in your kitchen? Is your jar on your front porch? My jar is outside sitting on the grass. And so I've colored grass behind lighter because the glass is looking through it. So this grass is lighter than this grass on the side. And then the blue sky is darker on the outside of the jar rather than lighter inside, okay? And you can make the jar lid any color you want. You can make the sky, if it's a rainy day, you can do like purple clouds and things like that. If it's a sunny day, you can add the sun. Really, you're the artist, so you get to choose, okay? So real quick, last steps. Here's our first step, right? Step 1, step 2, add in our little details, and step 3, and last, color the background, color the jar, and finish it up. I can't wait to see you guys' fingerprint bug jars. I think they're gonna be awesome. I hope you have fun with this project, and I can't wait to see all your finished projects. Okay, have fun guys, be creative.